What's going on, horror gang? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host Marcus. Please be sure to shoot that like button, subscribe to the channel, so I'll hit that notification icon to get all latest content updates to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about how recently I was in the chat box of I Like Scary's YouTube channel. Shout out to you, I Like Scary. And we share the same subscriber in Keith Ashterbrand. Shout out to you, Keith, if you catch this video. And he was sharing with us in the chat box that there was Reddit leaks going around about Michael Myers being killed in the first 15 minutes of Halloween Ends via firing squad style, the way it was done in Halloween 4. Obviously a lot to take in there, guys. So before I get into it, let's hit that intro. I shot him 6 times. Alright, gang, so let's get into this. Obviously we don't know if this is 100% true, and it's not a knock on Keith at all. I do believe what he says when he says he sees all this news over Reddit, people leaking information, etc., which is probably why we do have these reshoots, or people who could have been going to the test screenings and didn't like the aspect of that, what they saw, if that is true, that Michael Myers gets killed in the first 15 minutes of the movie by a firing squad, just like in Halloween 4. I mean, we've seen this in Halloween 2018, guys, when the ending, was tested out by test screeners and they hated it, did not like it at all, and we found out that the ending was supposed to be something like Michael, bleeding out in the woods and etc. And I guess Laurie, if I'm not mistaken, Laurie dies or she escapes. I forget exactly how that played out, but I know for a fact that Michael was supposed to bleed out in the woods, and it was just a whole ending that thankfully we did not get and wouldn't have made any sense and would have left a really sour taste in our mouth. Now, with that being said, if this is true, let's just go with the premise that this is true, that Michael Myers literally dies in the first 15 minutes of the movie and doesn't return at all, like in the movie. And that is taking a really big gamble, but it would line up with what Laurie, Jamie Lee Curtis had to say about this ending, or this movie will upset people. This could be one of the reasons why it would upset people, because obviously Michael Myers is the staple of the franchise, and if you are going to take the gamble of actually killing him off, us as fans, as I'd like to believe, would like to see this happen in the finale, not in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Now, another reason why this shouldn't happen and it couldn't work is because they did everything in their power to ignore all the previous Halloween films except for Halloween 3. With the exception of Halloween 3, they did bring back the silver shamrock mask for some kids to wear on Halloween night, while trick-or-treating. But keep in mind that Halloween Season of the Witch had nothing to do with Michael Myers, which is why they can get away with that, with using that as a nod and a reference. If they go with killing Michael in the first 15 minutes of the movie, but killing him in the way that he was supposed to die at the end of Halloween 4's, when Sheriff Meeker and state troopers gun him down with heavy machinery and heavy assault rifles, and by a firing squad essentially, if they go that route in this movie, it would basically diminish everything they did in their power to ignore all the previous sequels that involved Michael Myers. It would not make any sense at all. You could sit there and say, oh, they're paying homage, but at the same time, you are still referencing a previous sequel that you said does not exist in this timeline. So that is why this could not work, and in my opinion, should not even be considered. Not even just because of that blasphemy, it's for the simple fact is that we would want to see Michael Myers die. If he is going to die, literally die, we would want to see that for the finale. We don't want to see that in the first 15 minutes of the movie. What are you going to do the whole next hour and a half? What are you going to do the rest of the movie? Now, I will make this pitch of, okay, so let's just go with the idea that they do pull this stunt of killing Michael in the first 15 minutes of the movie. I'm genuinely starting to fear, whether it's in the first 15 minutes of the movie or the ending of the movie, that they're going to go the Halloween 4 route and have Allison be the one to, how can I put this? She would be the one to obtain Michael Myers' power, his evil. The evil that lives inside of Michael Myers would transfer onto Allison. And if they go that route, and the reason why I bring that up is because that was obviously going to be done, that was pretty much done at the end of Halloween 4 with Jamie Lloyd. She touches her uncle when he gets hit by the truck by Rachel Carruthers. The police show up. Rachel's talking to them. Jamie gets out of the truck, touches Michael. They scream at her to get away from him. He sits up. He's about to stab her or whatnot. But then we see, at the end of that movie, that Jamie stabs her adopted mother, and she's wearing the clown mask, and you hear Dr. Loomis, screaming, "No, no," when she comes to the stairs, and stuff, because the power and the evil that was inside Michael Myers had transferred off to her. And guys, I'm starting to get a real general concern that, let's just say if this is true, right? And they do kill Michael Myers off in the first 15 minutes of the movie. And let's say just the reshoots, they don't recast over that like that. They're gonna keep that in the movie, and the reshoots are completely for other scenes. I have a general fear that they are going to try to turn Allyson Strode into the new Jamie Lloyd in terms of somehow obtaining Michael's power, his evil, and then possibly killing Laurie in the end. That, that's another thing that could upset, people in this movie. Even if it was at the finale and Michael was still obviously living through the movie, etc. There's a lot of belief out there, that they could try to pull a stunt where Allison gets Michael's evil transferred off to her and she kills Laurie Strode. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now that can't work either. And here's why it can't work, as opposed to why it worked with Jamie Lloyd. The reason why it worked with Jamie Lloyd is because in that timeline, she was Michael's niece. She had a relative connection to Michael. Allyson Strode doesn't have a relative connection to Michael. They made that clear in the opening of Halloween 2018, when she's walking with her friends, Vicky and Dave, that Michael Myers is not Laurie Strode's brother, which would make her not his niece. So it would make no sense at all for them to go that route in terms of transferring off Michael's evil into Allyson Strode, and she kills Laurie Strode at the end, much like Jamie Lloyd attempted to kill her adopted mother, Mrs. Carruthers, at the end of Halloween 4. I have a weird feeling that if these rumors are true, that Michael Myers dies within the first 15 minutes of the movie, or let's say the rumors aren't true, and that's just a bunch of leaks, or it was true and they obviously reshot that scene and fixed that problem, because that would be a big problem in my opinion. I still have a general concern that they are going to try to go this route. You know what I mean? Because keep in mind, again, Jamie Lee Curtis said that this movie, will anger a lot of fans, especially the ending. What would anger the fans more is either Michael Myers dying at the beginning of the movie, or possibly Allyson Strode obtaining his power and his evil at the end of the movie. Those are two very, very valid things that could really upset fans. It could really upset fans. Those are two legitimate topics that would upset fans if those played out on screen. No doubt about that. So keep that in mind, that even though these are rumors, etc., because I did do my due diligence, I went and tried to look on Reddit, as I did recently, just make a new Reddit community and profile myself. I could not find anything. I could not find anything on this rumor, on these leaks, nothing. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they were taken down by the time I got to them, etc. But I wasn't able to find anything. Be that as it may, let's just go with the premise that these rumors are true. Let's just hope that with these reshoots, this would be the scene that they're reshooting. Michael Myers dying in the first 15 minutes of the movie, like completely, and you don't have him in the rest of the movie, you got to scrap that idea. You got to. That can't work. Won't work. No. No, 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 no. No way. No. Me as a diehard Halloween fan, this is my favorite franchise, and in all of horror, I would be so pissed off if they went with that. If either one of those routes that I mentioned, but especially if they kill Michael Myers in the first 15 minutes of the movie, I would be heavily disappointed. Heavily disappointed for the simple fact is everything you built up with Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, you can't do that. You just cannot. You can't go in that direction. You built up too much good story, good storyline between 2018 and Kills. It would not make any sense at all for you to kill Michael Myers in the first 15 minutes of this movie. It's baffling. And I really hope that these rumors are, one, not true. And I hope that if they are true, that this is one of the scenes that's getting a reshoot and they come up with something better. But that's my take on it, guys. I want to hear from you. Hit the comment section and let me know what you guys think about these rumors from Reddit about Michael Myers possibly being killed off in the first 15 minutes of the movie. How do you feel about that? As well as how do you feel about the other topic I brought up, that possibly the evil that's inside Michael Myers could possibly transfer off to Allison? Hit the comment section. I want to hear from you guys and hear your thoughts and opinions and see where you guys, what you guys have to say about all this. All right, gang, that's it for this video. Once again, this is I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host, Marcus. Once again, please be sure to shoot that like button, subscribe to the channel. Support is greatly appreciated. It helps the channel out a ton. And be sure to hit that notification icons to get all latest content updates to the channel. Be sure to also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you guys for watching.